WDBJ7 starts with breaking news now.
This heinous assault was an act of evil, an act of hatred, and an act of terror. It was a crime against our entire nation. It was a crime against humanity.
A suspect has been identified as police tape still lines our nation's capital tonight. The attack happened just blocks away from the White House in the middle of the afternoon, and we are learning that the person accused of shooting two National Guard members is a 29-year-old Afghan national who entered the United States in 2021. President Donald Trump has now called for an investigation on all Afghan refugees who entered the United States under the Biden administration. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service has announced it will stop processing all immigration requests from Afghan nationals, saying it would review its vetting procedures.
As President of the United States, I am determined to ensure that the animal who perpetrated this atrocity pays the steepest possible price.
The injured National Guardsmen are from West Virginia and are said to be in critical condition tonight. The suspect is in custody and also recovering from gunshot wounds. The violence sparking the Trump administration to call in extra troops. 500 more National Guard members to be exact, and investigators are calling this an ambush. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kate Capodanno. And I'm Mitch Carr. We want to break down exactly what happened, and that's why we've pulled in our own Austin Hicks tonight. And Austin, have we gotten any closer to finding out why this happened?
Mitch, Kate, D.C. police say they still are not exactly sure what motivated the suspect to open fire this afternoon. However, one thing they are making clear, this was a targeted shooting.
I heard boom, boom, 2 times.
You see this stuff on TV, you don't expect to witness it yourself.
Around 2:15 Wednesday afternoon, a man fired shots in front of a Washington, D.C. metro station, only a few blocks away from the White House. In the wake of the shooting, 2 West Virginia National Guardsmen lay on the ground with critical injuries, reportedly at least 1 shot in the head. D.C. Metro Police called it an ambush.
When a suspect came around the corner, raised his arm with a firearm and discharged it at the National Guard members. The National Guard members, there were other members that were in the area. They were able to, after some back and forth, able to subdue the individual and bring him into custody.
The 2 guardsmen flown to a local hospital, both in critical condition.
They had one person pinned down and yelling at him to stay down, and then there were 2 National Guards on the ground. One, it looked like they were trying to resuscitate.
The man accused of the targeted attack has been identified as a 29-year-old Afghan who moved to the U.S. from Afghanistan in August of 2021.
At this time, obviously, we're very in the preliminary stages of investigation. There's a lot of things, a lot of agents that are here from various federal agencies, law enforcement agencies. We have the full power of the FBI and our federal partners here in the task force. So we're looking at all those different aspects, but we don't have any motive.
FBI Director Kash Patel responding to the attack.
We have assembled the full force of both the federal and state and local law enforcement agencies to bring bear all of our resources to make sure we find the perpetrators responsible for this heinous act. And make no mistake, they will be brought to justice.
Late Wednesday, West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey reacted to the shooting after speaking with President Trump.
This was an act of unspeakable violence. Our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers go out to the brave service members, their families, and the units who are enduring this terrible tragedy.
The suspect was also taken to the hospital where he is also being treated for gunshot wounds.
Austin Hicks breaking it down for us tonight live in studio. Thank you.
These guards were 2 of the more than 400 National Guardsmen from West Virginia sent to Washington, D.C. in August as part of President Donald Trump's joint task force to restore order in the nation's capital.
Last Tuesday, the West Virginia National Guard said it would continue its support of the president's mission. 160 West Virginia members volunteered to keep serving in D.C. until the end of the year. The remaining members returned back to West Virginia on November 17th.
However, on Thursday, a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to end its deployment of National Guard troops in Washington. But the judge also put her order on hold for 21 days to allow for an appeal.
And as we learn more about the violence today in D.C., you can get the headlines straight to the palm of your hand. Just scan the QR code on your screen to download our free WDBJ7 News app.
We're going to pause those headlines now.